Hello, YouTubers. This is the anonymous reality TV blogger. Hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Love Island Australia Season 3, Episode 19 in OMG. There has been so much drama this season that I can't even differentiate anymore between what is producer influence and like what is actually real. Oh my gosh. So we pick up from the end of the previous episode where Aaron and Jess found out that they were awarded the hideaway after going exclusive. So they show some more clips of them, getting frisky in the hideaway. Then Lexi is still mad at Ben because of what was said at the Truth Bike Challenge. And, Ben basically is telling Lexi that he never felt that she saw it for him and that it was always Ryan, and, he just told her whatever he felt that she wanted to hear, or she wanted him to hear. And so he was just over it. And she was like, yeah, you were rude last night. And he was like, yeah, I know. It's like, it was just, so here's my thing on the whole Lexi thing. I do think Lexi used Ben to stay in the villa. I totally 110% believe that. And she was not up front because she made it seem like at the recoupling ceremony that like they could potentially be more. But really it was a ruse because she still wanted to see if she had a shot with Ryan. And here's the thing. Lexi should have been on alert with how Ryan did Ari. And this is what I don't understand. The people who want to fight over certain Love Island men. And it's like, if you see him doing the same thing to another Islander, what makes you think it's going to be different for you? The only difference is he's going to make sure that it lasts a little bit longer. So it appears as though you're this good person, but really deep down, you're just waiting for the next opportunity. And actually, that's what's happening in some of these Love Island couples across several franchises, if we want to keep it 100. But you didn't hear that from me. But there are certain people who will capitalize off of, the fandom being supportive of certain couples, and they'll utilize that, to get as many brand deals, to get as many opportunities as possible. And then they'll announce an amicably breakup like it's nothing. So that was pretty much that. The following day was just a lot of filler stuff. Then we get into this game. Sidebar. So there are two things that needs to happen for season 4 for Love Island USA. One is revamping this whole Casa Amor experience with the staggering of the men and the women, with having both the photographs and video footage sent to each. And also, the same thing is kind of a take on what Love Island UK did this season, where they had a night at the movies and they replayed clips throughout the season that the previous Islanders said about each other or potentially their couple. But Australia flipped it up and kind of made it a drinking game, to where somebody, basically held up something that was said about that Islander that was most of the time inappropriate or malicious. And then the Islander had to basically use these drinks in these martini glasses and put that in, shove that in the face. And so the worst offense, of course, was Lexi, because it was revealed Ryan said that I don't think she's that good looking. And then followed it up by saying her personality, is what makes up for it. And so it's just it's just wild, because it's he was never this much of a jerk to Ari when it was all said and done. But it's just he really is just not seeing it for Lexi. OMG. And then what was worse after this was seeing Mitch crack up. So I am off the Mitch bandwagon. I found it very disgusting to laugh about somebody else's looks. You may not be physically attracted to certain people, or, beauty's in the eye of beholder. Some people may seem attractive to some people, but not others. But for Mitch to laugh like that was just disgusting to me. That's not okay to just laugh at somebody being called ugly and not attractive, because that tells me Mitch's character. that he basically is petty and childlike, you know, when he's not putting on and on the quote unquote Tina train. So whatever. And then there were some mean things. Courtney had said, you know, she's not sure what's natural about Taylor. So that was kind of, you know, mean. And it was just a lot. And then Taku had said about Jess that he thinks that she's just going to jump ship anyways, which is true. And by the looks of things, it's probably going to be even more true pretty soon. And so, you know, basically Ryan and Lexi have it out during the challenge. And he's like, well, at least I was being honest. At least I told you to your face. And so, but he was just doubling down. He was digging the grave a little bit deeper. But here's my thing on Ryan for the millionth time. Lexi, what were you expecting from a guy who said that he slept with over 500 women? What were you expecting? And then how he dogged out Ari, what were you expecting for him to do to you? Like, it was so obvious. It was plain as day that Ryan was playing a game and was just waiting for the next woman to come in that he actually liked for him to make his move. And so it's funny now because basically Taylor has the ick with this guy. I mean, before the challenge, she's talking to, you know, Taku and Michaela and basically saying that she's not seeing it for Ryan. There's too many red flags. She's telling the girls there's too many red flags. You know, Ryan is now starting to pick up on it, that he's more into Taylor than she is to him, and that he's used to it being the other way around, girls being more into him than he is into them. And then, but then also this Lexi situation is also kind of screwing up things because it's basically showing his real character and it's turning off, you know, Taylor essentially from their connection. So it's just wild. Mitch is talking like him and Tina are like this married couple and everything. Like they have the game in the bag. And I'm just like, you know, do not count your chickens before they hatch because you never know what can happen on this show. And so, pretty much like after that game, it was just a lot. Ryan was trying to do damage control with Lexi, but like after their conversation, he really just like rolled his eyes. Like he basically was phoning it in. I want to see more of Taku and Michaela's connection as well as Chris and Zoe's connection. I really feel that they probably have a fun, lighthearted connection, but for whatever reason, they're giving Mitch and Tina this winner's edit that is like very obvious that they want them to win. And then they were giving a semi runner-up edit to Aaron and Jess, but now that may have just completely crumbled. And then pretty much all of the drama with Ryan and Lexi that's going on from the aftermath of Casa Amor. So, it's just wild, man. It's just a wild time. So we get into some of the evening stuff. And so they had this like evening game where you had to, all the couples went to the fire pit and there would be two people competing and they would basically have to twerk off Post-its off their behinds and whoever could do it the fastest. And so apparently this is where this random drama escalated with, Aaron and Jess. Mind you, the night before they were just they just were exclusive the day before, then went into the hideaway, even though Jess basically said that they didn't have sex, but things pretty much got steamy up to that point. So you can infer obviously what did happen. And then I think Jess was turned off about what Taku said at the game, that she would just jump ship. And so apparently while Jess was doing her twerking off the Post-it, apparently part of her boob came out from the top that she was wearing. And Tina, like, I guess told her. And so, you know, Jess was trying to tell Aaron this and relay it because she sat like right back next to him. But Aaron actually, he was like literally staring into space. I think he was just in his own zone. And so she interpreted that as he gave me a dirty look or he was disgusted by me. And I'm just like, what is she talking about? Like, what is happening right now? And so then she goes back to the ladies' room and she's like relaying all of this to Zoe and she's mad. Aaron comes back because she said that she just was going to go to the bathroom and then come right back out. But she had been gone for a while. So he went to go check on her and she basically just gave him this look like, like we aren't talking right now. Like, this isn't it. I'm not seeing it for you right now. So Aaron goes back out and then Aaron tells Chris that he thinks that Jess is mad at him, but he doesn't know why. And so then him and Jess have this conversation finally, and she's telling him that, you know, she feels that he was dismissive and gave this dirty look to her. And, you know, Aaron's trying to make light of it and he's trying to say, you know, like, what are you talking about? Like, this is not a big deal. This is not a situation. I wasn't giving you a dirty look. Like, I can't believe, you know, you're really upset about this. And so it just really escalated. And so then Jessica, since she wasn't getting, I guess, the response that she was hoping for from Aaron to just basically say, hey, I'm sorry that you felt that way. Let's, you know, whatever. She then says never mind, it's dumb. And so Aaron was like, but yeah, it is dumb. And so she's like, see, how can you talk to me like that? How can you say it's dumb? And I'm like, oh no, this is about to be a train wreck. And so, so then we took a break from that. And Ben now is saying essentially to Noah that he's interested in pursuing things with Taylor since basically things with Lexi are kaput. And, you know, he's looking out for his own safety. And he's attracted to her. So they were doing some flirting. And Lexi was in her feelings again. She was mad that they were flirting. And I'm like, but girl, you didn't even like the guy. So why do you care? It's just a lot. To be honest, like, I hope that the next dumping, like, Ryan needs to go. And even Lexi needs to go for her mental health at this point. Because it's like, why continue this toxicity with Ryan? Like, why do it to yourself? It's just not worth it. So, so yeah. So then after that happens, after the flirting and everything else, then we get back to Jess and Aaron. Aaron tries again with Jess on the swing to try to have a conversation, but Jess is just like not wanting to hear what he has to say. And Aaron's trying to speak his piece. And he's basically telling Jess, no matter what I say, you don't believe me. And Jess basically is like, yep. And so Aaron's tired and ends up just leaving the swing and walking away. And then he like basically mumbles under his breath, like, you know, all this work, all this effort is all for nothing. Like, you get to a point where, you know, enough is enough. And so, and then just walks away. And apparently now, according to the preview and the teaser for Thursday episode 20, potentially Jess dumps him. Potentially Jess dumps Aaron that night. Oh my gosh. Like, things are just completely wild. And it's like she's totally hearing what Aaron basically said to her, that she's being shut off. And she's like to him, did you just tell me to shut up? And it's a train wreck. It is a train wreck. It is a hotmess.com. And OMG. So apparently there's supposed to be a big shocker coming up on this next episode. I think it's going to be a surprise elimination, because they just had that Australia vote into who their favorite islanders were. And I definitely think some people are going, but I would not be surprised if Aaron self-evicted, because he was basically there for Jess. And if Jess is pulling this nonsense with him, like, he may just remove himself from the game altogether, because this isn't it. So, yeah, so I don't know. Like, it's just wild. I don't know what happened with Jess. There's a part of me that still thinks that something about it was scripted, but maybe at some point they went off the script and took it to extreme. So I don't know, but it's just very bad, because they were actually one of my winner picks if it wasn't going to be Tina and Mitch. And now I guess I have to go all in on Zoe and Chris and Taku and Michaela to somehow find a way to get to those top spots because they are getting zero screen time, like zero. So more to come on that. The only other thing is they have some weird guy coming in as a bombshell that looks kind of like a mashup of a 70s guy with the porn stash, and then he looks like, you know, 90s mullet on the other end. It's like a weird combination, and he looks like he's 50. But it's like basically another Emily situation where apparently Tina follows him, so he's thinking that because she follows him that she's going to give him a shot. And then you know, he's also interested in Zoe, which I don't think Zoe would go for him. So so yeah, I don't know. They got this bombshell completely wrong. Like, they could just put him back into the queue, because that's not a bombshell. This is like a downgrade. This is like an actual bomb of just creating chaos, but not like an actual bombshell that is going to actually do something. So, so that's on that. But please let me know what your thoughts on this episode. Was completely insane. I have to hand it Australia this season. They have not shied away from the drama. The only thing I wish is if they could actually feature the other islanders that everybody wants to see. Like, how is Taku Australia's favorite and he gets no screen time? Like, how does that happen? How is it that, you know, Zoe and Chris have this fun, playful relationship and we see none of it? We get little excerpts of, you know, Chris teaching a class or Chris hyping up the Islanders, but we never get to see Chris and Zoe just having their connection explored. But they do drown us with Courtney material, and Courtney telling Noah that she's sorry, that she still basically has feelings for Nick, but is going to pretend to like Noah a little bit more so that, you know, she doesn't go home. But it's just like, you know, Nick needs to cut his losses, to be completely honest. I don't see it for Courtney. I feel like she's overstayed her welcome. I feel like Ari should have stayed instead of her. I feel like Rachel should still be there instead of Lexi. And that's just how I feel, because now the way that it's playing out, you know, you could just see the cracks with some of these people. So yeah, so that's all I have. Please let me know your thoughts. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys soon, of course.